What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals. My name is DJ, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, my sister, Devon.
Yes. Hi.
And my brother, Derek.
What's up, everybody?
I forgot our tagline, which was your first line of defense against stupid movies. We are. But today, we really are going to defend you against a stupid movie because we watched Morbius. And boy, do I have a lot to say about this. This is going to be spoilers for Morbius if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, don't go see it. Listen to this podcast, and we will tell you why it sucks.
Should have paid attention to Rotten Tomatoes.
I said it.
Well, I was surprised when I saw the Rotten Tomato score. It was like 19%, and I was like, oh. Now, I wasn't excited to see Morbius.
I wasn't either.
But I did not think it was going to be that. And then my wife, she told me, she was like, hey, you know, you can't always trust the critics. I'm like, that's true, but when it's 19%.
That's my thing. When it's that low, this is more than just people not understanding a movie or getting it. When it's that low, the movie's pretty bad.
Like, there was a problem.
Said it's the second worst rated movie, superhero movie, after Fantastic Four.
Oh. Which one? Fan Force?
I've never seen it.
No. Wait. That came out in 2015?
Yeah.
Yes. It was that one.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so I can't say.
I seen it. It's bad.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
So on the record now, these are the two worst superhero movies rating.
Yep.
So jumping into this movie is an hour and 44 minutes long, short movie.
I'm glad it was short.
It felt like it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah. But even at the same time, it felt like they were rushing through things. And that's because it was so short.
I was kind of glad that they did rush through it.
I mean, I'm glad it was short. And I was like, oh, man, this movie over already. Awesome.
No, by the end of the movie, I wasn't. I was like...
But I just... Like, they were rushing. And, you know, maybe they could have used an extra 20 minutes or so if the story was better. Not that I wanted to be there for another 20 minutes.
Interesting that you mentioned that, Devon, because that is the underlying issue of this movie. The story is hot garbage trash. I don't know what the writers were thinking on this, or they just didn't care, but they did not try with this movie.
Yeah.
There was no story here.
It was boring, uninteresting. The characters are flat. Like, it's not good.
And I don't even feel that Leto did a bad job.
No, none of the actors, I don't think it wasn't like...
No, they were
horrible.
doing what they could work with.
Yeah.
Which was nothing.
Yeah. So it wasn't the acting, the action horrible. Or
just
or lack thereof.
Yeah, just the whole special effects is just trash. Like the odd use of slow motion in some areas, and then you sped it up, and the blurs and
well, it's like it was going fast, and then they'll slow it down. So like, oh, but you have to see what's happening. But you know, I don't know if they were trying to do like a Dragon Ball Z fight. You know, like you can't see the characters, and it's just like. But even then, like, that's more interesting.
It is more interesting.
Yeah, it was very... I guess, I don't know, how do you show to people who are, like... Because they move fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how you show that? You show them fighting, and then...
You speed the background around them up or down or something?
I guess you slow it down, but you don't even have to do that. You just do one scene where, like... So you don't even have to. Just show them fighting.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, you could have kept it at the fast speed. When it came to the fight scenes, I feel like the only times that it should be slowed down, like the scene with the bats and he was coming at him with the pole. I think that was the pole. Like, okay, yeah, I see that being slowed down, so you can see what's going on.
But even that fight was so
I
trash.
just feel like, I didn't say the fight was good.
Also, we would talk about it. A lot of it, like they'll be fighting, and then all you see is just like some rubble in front of the camera or whatever. And I'm like, you can't even see what's going on. I don't like. Not only is the fight uninteresting, but like there's nothing going on the screen.
I didn't like the visual effects at all.
No, visual effects were pretty bad.
Yeah. I feel like the previews was better than the movie. Way much better than the movie.
None of that was in the movie.
A
lot of
more
stuff
than
was
half
not in the movie.
of the preview was not in the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff was in the movie. I don't know. I don't know what direction they were trying to go in, what they were trying to accomplish with this movie. It just everything about it was just bad and wrong. Just stupid characters. The FBI was unnecessary and dumb and unfunny and just bad police work and making leaps in logic that makes no sense. I mean, they're all my nitpicks. Actually, this whole thing is just a nitpick. I don't know.
It's not even a nitpick. It's just bad. I was like, dude, it's valid. It's valid complaints. It's not a nitpick.
All right. So I have valid statements about this movie that we can go into later. But it's just, it didn't have a purpose.
Right.
No, yeah. The whole entire movie did not have a purpose at all.
Yeah.
Like, when the movie started, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, why did they give this 19%? I'm like, oh, I was actually
how it started
kind of interesting with him trying to cure his disease. You see him make his friendship. You see that he's smart. And then I think it was after his friend, like, took the serum from him. Maybe a little bit before that.
That was about the middle of the movie, though.
Is that the middle?
Remember, the movie's really short.
Yeah, that was the middle of the movie.
That was like an hour in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You start getting this sense that the movie's not actually going anywhere. Like, I think, you know what it is? I think I was interested because the movie was progressing at the beginning. Because there was a point he needed to cure his disease. After he did that, there was no progression.
Yeah.
And there's no point. Yeah. So you quickly lose interest.
Well, I think one is like your main protagonist. Like, what was Milo's point? Like, okay, fine, he takes the serum because he wants to be cured, blah, blah, blah. But then why was he so obsessed with Morbius? It didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't make sense.
My thing, what I walked out of, I was like, why was Milo a villain in the first place? There was nothing about his character that said, I'm going to become murderous.
Okay.
Like,
well,
just,
all right, so I have a whole section of notes about this.
Okay.
So, like, look, this movie is so bad, I literally started taking my movie notes in the theater.
Oh, wow.
She broke out a notebook.
I got to get these thoughts.
So we just give a brief synopsis since it ain't much?
What? Oh, okay. He wants to cure himself. He uses vampire bats to do it, which is dumb.
And so he
becomes a vampire bat.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the protagonist, his best friend,
also has the same disease, and he does it. But he's like, I don't want to try not to kill people.
Correct.
And he goes off the deep end.
Yeah.
The end.
Yep. That's the movie.
That's
and then, there's some cops doing things.
Yeah. Okay. That sums it up.
Yep. Okay. So let's talk about Milo. Just everything about this character is just so pointless. Like you said at the beginning, it's like, oh, he has a friend, they're ride or die. That's good, right? But then it's just there's a couple of things about this that I don't understand, and we're gonna progress down from the things we've had.
Okay.
So
I'll try to explain and make sense of it if there is something to make sense of.
Okay. All right. I mean, you tell me. Maybe I've been missing some points. Okay. So starting off, Milo goes to the hospital. He sees old boy like himself in this box, right? So he's seeing the worst of the serum. He's seeing the side effects of what's happening. Dude is like dying from that, right?
Yes.
Milo says to myself, I want some of that. How does that make sense?
That's true. I get he doesn't want his disease, but my man was like locked in
the
the box
you saw the worst of it.
You saw him down a package of artificial blood or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and you're like, the cure worked. This is clearly the cure not working.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Well, I will say in the age of COVID, some people reason the cure is worse than the disease.
All right. Okay.
So he's just saying, like, this makes me better, and I won't be living my life as the way I was living it before.
Completely blind. You know nothing about nothing. The only thing you know about it is the worst of it.
True.
And then you took it. Okay. Second point. How did he inject the serum? Because Morbius had to have the doctor inject it in a certain point in his spine.
That's true.
I didn't catch that. Good point, Devin.
So, how did he do it? How did he even know to do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Because he's not a doctor at all.
He's not smart either. I mean, like, he's not like...
But he's not a doctor.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. Right. So then...
Yeah.
He takes it. Apparently, he survives the flatlining and coming back to life part thing or whatever's happening.
Correct.
He turns into a vampire in quotations,
quote unquote, because they're not.
They're not vampires, right? And then he says to himself, "That's super cool, and I'm going to become evil."
Right.
For no reason. This jump in logic makes no sense.
Most humans, like Michael, would have been like, okay, I've got to solve this because I don't want to eat people.
And that was his reasoning. Like, okay, I can't continue doing this.
Yeah. So what about Milo did we learn that says that he's the worst of the worst?
I think they were trying. This is where we talk about bad writing. I think they were trying to establish this in the beginning of the movie when he gets unrealistically beat up.
First of all, I didn't want to bring that up, but I mean, kids are awful. I don't think there's any kid that awful.
Nobody. There's not going to be a group of kids beating up somebody on some cane on crutches.
I will say making fun of, yes. Teasing, yes. Physical altercation, no.
No one's look.
Like
kids
maybe
are awful,
tripping,
but I feel like you are not going to fully make fun of someone with a disability like that.
Yeah.
It's just you're not. Like, we'll talk about each other, but we didn't mess with the kids in the other
I don't
class.
think as big as a group as they had. You might have that one kid that just has no manners and they didn't care. But, like, most people are I would like to think. I would like to think, but most people should be like, yeah. Oh, I wore my Batman shirt because this is a Batman. Technically, he became Batman.
He did become.
Yeah. So So I guess you're saying that they established that because that happened to him that one time.
No, I'm not saying it's good. I think that's what they were trying.
That kind of like now he hates people now.
Yeah. But that doesn't make someone murder. He got beat up once.
True.
That would make someone murderous.
If anything, he turns into this half human, half vampire and go find the guys that beat him up.
But it was such an instant thing. Like he's instantly.
And then this is the part I didn't understand. You made a good point about like how he injected himself, when he injected himself. Did he never leave the hospital?
Exactly, because then he goes and kills the nurse lady. So I'm like,
he did that in the hospital.
How?
He couldn't have. There's no answer to that.
And then okay, fine. So now he's evil. Then why was he so obsessed with Morbius? Like, why is he like, you must join me, brother? Why?
True.
Like he says, he
wanted to get him to be
like him
killing people.
Why? Why were you so like? Why were you
like
stalking
the only
Martine?
issue should have been
this?
Is that Morbius had to put his friendship aside and say, hey, I have to stop him because he's not going to stop.
That would have been better.
That's what it should have been. Not join me, brother, and we can be on top together.
There's another problem too. Before we get to Milo, Morbius is testing, like figuring out how all of this is going for himself in the lab, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they know who the doctor is that got knocked out for a real long time for no reason, by the way. But they know who she is, and the police did not go to the lab. They never went to the lab.
They never went to the lab.
They're like, we know where she works,
or
and we know
have somebody sitting
Yeah.
On the building.
And Michael Morbius is a suspect, and they didn't go there.
Well, that kind of, I mean, when I said like the FBI in here, like it's just so unnecessary. First of all, I think they were supposed to be comic relief, but it wasn't funny. Just not at all. So like, not only
part I laughed at was the holy water, and I just chuckled. I was like,
so like, not only did they they were making jumps and logics and stuff, but like, and then it's like, okay, so they find her knocked out on the boat, right? And so then they find the origami. So then in the hospital's like, you work with Morbius, don't you? Is he the only man in New York that make paper figures? Like, I don't understand this jump in
Why
logic.
would the FBI know
like,
that anyway?
Why exactly? Why did you automatically assume it must be Morbius that's doing these things? Like, it didn't make any sense.
You can assume that it was Morbius because out of all the people on the ship, he's the only one that's missing.
But it's not like, but
they didn't know.
They were on the ship illegally doing illegal stuff in international water, quote unquote. I'm like, international water, and they was in Staten Island. Like,
I think 13 miles. That's not international water, but being on that boat makes them international.
Well, but I think they were 13 miles off the coast, which I think is international.
They put that international water sign up there like they was going to be in like the South China Sea or something, and them fools were in New York.
Hey, it's technically
they just had to be out
international.
They just had to be out far.
Out of here! You tell me y'all didn't think that it was.
Yeah, well, when I found out they were like close to New York, I was like, oh, I did think they were like somewhere else.
That's exactly.
Now you also bringing out a point, right? I don't know if you had this, but it made me think of this since we're talking about the boat. How did he know that he was going to be able to swim 12 miles to shore?
He felt stronger than he ever had before.
I still wouldn't think that I could swim.
Yeah, he just called Mayday, Mayday, and then grabbed everything and jumped in the water.
I mean,
even if you can swim, you will reason like, man, 12 miles is a long time to be swimming. I mean, to walk or to run 12 miles.
Nothing about his power said, hey, I'll be fine swimming 12 miles.
I'm going to let that go because this is not the only movie that has done that.
That's true.
Every movie do it. Every movie people hop off a boat and swim to shore like it ain't nothing.
You're right. You're right. I give you that.
And then, I don't know. People who swim maybe 12 miles isn't anything. I don't know. I can't swim, so I can't say.
12 miles is
walking
a lot to
12 miles is a lot, and I walk.
I did walk 10 miles once. It sucked.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, on vacation, sure, maybe. But like a 10-mile destination? No, I don't think so.
I walked 9 miles once, and that sucked.
Look.
And I think it took me 2 hours.
Okay, so it's a 2-hour swim. You swim faster than you walk.
Yeah, but nothing gave the indication that he was going to be able to make that
I'm going to let it go because every movie ever do that.
Okay.
So all right. I'm going to let that go. All right. Or am I just going down my nitpicks?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go down your
okay,
list.
are we done with Milo?
I guess. I guess we mentioned how dumb his villainy was. Plus, he's another villain that has the same powers as the hero.
Which I didn't understand. So I got home and I'm just like, I had to look this guy up.
Morbius really don't have any villains.
Because he is a villain. I'm going to get on that on Sony in a second. But because he's Morbius is technically not like a villainous villain.
He's an
anti-hero.
But
he's not even a hero. He's just a thing that's there.
Could we have had a movie where the villain is just really himself?
Like Huckle and Drive? Hyde?
Well, because it's like he's fighting his own demons, right?
Right.
He's a good guy, a moral person, but he turned himself into this thing that he cannot control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that your antagonist could be the personal struggle that he has. Basically.
Right, because I did some quick Wikipedian about him. Granted, his character seems boring and awful, but a lot of people like him, so what do I know?
And he's not a standalone character.
He is not a standalone character.
No, but I feel like you could have brought, just glancing, a lot of different things to this movie. Like, and then if you had a chance to make up a villain, why did you make up one that was exactly like him? Like, you could have gave something that he really struggles with, something bigger and more powerful than him. And then if he was fighting something like that, then you can get the cops and all those other people on your side. Yeah. Because in here, the cops was just like, after Milo killed those 3 guys at the bar, there's like, oh, they look at the CCTV and they're like, oh, that's not Morbius. Okay, then we're fine with him now. Did we see them
after that? Was that the last bit of them?
I think that's the last time we saw them.
But you don't see them until the end of the movie.
But then here's my thing. They kind of shrugged that off. But remember, he did kill 8 people on a boat.
Yeah.
He broke out of prison. He is still a fugitive. So realizing that, okay, just because he didn't kill those 3 people, he is still guilty of something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you're going to insert the cops into this movie, then make them actually search and hunt for this guy. You can't just say, "Oh, he didn't do this one crime, so we're cool now." It's just what is this?
Yeah, and was Milo always rich?
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently, I don't know.
I didn't catch it.
It was a surprise when they first showed it. I was like, "Oh, his friend's rich." I kind of shrugged that off. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I think the hospital they ran were for rich people.
Oh, was Morbius rich?
I think so.
Well, I mean, all the things he accomplished as a doctor would have made him rich.
Also that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He needed Milo's money.
Yeah, he did. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe
for his research and stuff.
Yeah.
Because remember, he was doing things that weren't orthodox, so he had to get backing.
Funding.
Also, nobody saw this big tank of bats in this lab.
You know that is on my list. Okay. Believe me, I wrote it all down. All right. So he has this tank of bats. He tells Martine, don't open the thing, right? Because deniability. But then Nurse Elizabeth, I don't know if that's her name, but that's what I'm calling her. She walks in, sees the giant tank of bats, and then don't say nothing. I'm like, so are these bats supposed to be here or not? Like, what is happening?
They're just used to him doing things that's
How did he get the bats in there?
How did he get the bats back to New York?
That was that was a trap. Remember, he said set the trap.
I get that. They seem like they left in the
helicopter. Did leave.
So exactly. So how he get them bats back to New York?
How did he get the bats?
Also, that's not how vampire bats work. But
no. Also,
well, I mean, we don't have to get on that. That's fake. We're talking about a guy that got.
They do feed on blood.
Right. That's why they're called vampire bats.
Yes, but I'm like, we're talking about a guy that made a serum out of this. You talking about something that's not how vampire bats.
Okay.
You got to start somewhere in reality.
But I do have a gripe about these bats.
Okay.
This movie made it seem like that was the only place he could find those bats.
Are there vampire bats in America?
Central and South America, he's like, this is the only place I can get them. This one cave in Costa Rica,
maybe he
down the waterfall.
Those particular bats.
There's 3 types of vampire bats.
There's only 3?
Found across Central and South America. He could have just went to Mexico.
But maybe
literally could have just went to Mexico.
One type of
one of the 3 types.
Yes.
That found in a whole continent. Mm-hmm. One that's just hop right across the border.
Maybe those wasn't the ones that.
And they're found in basically any place that is dark and moist. You could have went to an abandoned building and found you some vampire bats.
Maybe it wouldn't have been enough. He needed more than. Like,
don't try to justify this.
Also, it was an anticoagulant, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into it. Right?
Look, whatever. The point is just the whole thing, and then his crew left him. How he get them bats back to New York?
How did he? Yeah, that's my question. I'm like, all right, let's say they came back and got him. All right, how did he get them there into the
how
tank?
do we survive the night?
The way they showed that cow drained of his life, he wouldn't have.
In the beginning, they said, don't he needs a blood transfusion every 2 to 4 hours?
Oh, that's true. He would just die from his disease.
He
maybe he had already made the
he flew there.
Blood.
They shouldn't have put that scene in there. It was actually not needed.
It wasn't needed.
No.
Especially they really didn't follow up on it.
The first scene.
The first.
It shouldn't have. It wasn't needed.
No,
it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
He could have just had him in the tank and told his friend that he got him from Costa Rica.
True.
We don't know how he got him. Maybe he had him shipped there, and it can actually that would have been smarter.
Honestly, he literally could have just got them shipped.
Just got them shipped. Why did
he would have died on the way? Because was he getting a blood transfusion in the helicopter?
Maybe he already had made the artificial blood by then.
No, he did.
He did.
So then he doesn't need it.
Blood. And then it's not. When it was just like dialysis. I don't think it was
dialysis?
No, he was actually getting blood transfusions too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just whatever.
Because they called it an oil change.
Right,
yes.
which I was, yeah.
So they have to take
it out and put new in.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe dialysis doesn't work. I don't know. Not important.
He doesn't survive that flight.
I'm telling you, he can with a backpack full of blood. He good.
Well,
then I go, he doesn't survive the night.
Okay.
At that point, he couldn't drink it. He has to transfuse it.
Okay.
Right, he can't.
That reminds me of something else. And I wrote it down. Like, literally this happened, and I started typing. Okay. So, he's in prison. Mm-hmm. Milo says, hey, I'm your friend. I brought you some blood to get you by. Yo, what prison don't check for stuff?
No, what prison lets someone into the cell?
Yeah, your lawyer doesn't get accepted in the cell. You come out into a room.
Right. So, but not only that, like, I'm going to let that go. Touch. But.
And there's an armed guard.
Literally, he got into a prison with a package of blood.
And no one paid attention that he walked in with a cane.
And walked out
without one.
Which is why you're not allowed into the cell with a prisoner.
Yeah.
Because you just left this prisoner with a weapon.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a horrible prison, whatever prison that this was.
First of all, it's in New York. Not happening. Not happening.
All right. Are we here to talk about this last fight scene, or did you have a?
Oh yeah, no, we can talk about the fight scene. We can go back to the list.
Okay. What is this fight? I don't even know. First of all, we talked about the why of their fighting and how that makes no sense. But this fight scene was just trash. From beginning to end, trash.
Yeah.
Like, there was no purpose. There was no purpose to this fight. I understand. And then Morbius just came up with a way to kill himself and his friend.
And then didn't use it.
Well, he used it on his friend at the end.
But what is Morbius going to do?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to find a cure.
Oh.
In the meantime, kill people?
Before I get to the last fight, he said, I need, blood to survive now because I'm a vampire bat. And because I'm Batman. Because I'm Batman. All right. So, and he said human blood. But why?
I don't understand.
They just threw that in there.
My first thought was,
in the comics.
Like, get some animals.
It's
bruh.
in the comics.
Yes, I was like, my first thought was, I'm like, dude, take out a couple of cows, dogs, cats.
Because
Sorry,
I guess
Peter.
because that's how the comics is written. It has to be human blood. But why does it have to be human blood?
Oh, is that what it is in the comics?
At least that's what's in Wikipedia.
Oh,
it is like that in the comics.
And I did watch a couple of episodes of the Spider-Man cartoon on him.
Yeah,
I do not like this character. Even in the cartoon, I'm like,
no, he was annoying
this.
in
the comic books. It was
he was so
Felicia.
It was like, no, he's always complaining. Oh my gosh, shut up! I understand that it sucks because you turned yourself into a vampire bat. Good job, dummy.
But yeah, I don't understand. But why would it only be human blood? Because it's not like bats feed on humans.
Yeah,
that's
true. What I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
And then shouldn't
maybe it has something to do with his disease.
Maybe. Shouldn't there be a limit on how much he needs to drink?
Yeah.
Well, he said that
once every 6 hours.
Right. I'm just thinking that when old boy started going around killing people.
Technically, he will only need one person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because how I look at it is like
you don't have to drain them.
No.
Right.
I was like, would he be even physically able to? Even when Morbius killed,
no, you wouldn't be able to.
Morbius killed those 8 people on the boat, which we just glanced over, whatever.
Right. But they said
they said they were all drained.
Exactly.
You can't hold 8 people.
You can't. What is he doing with all of this?
Right.
I feel like that's physically.
So big.
It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, I could see the every 6 hours. Because this is like, okay, we need to eat periodically throughout the day.
They didn't even bring up. They were saying the artificial blood only lasted 6 hours. How much did he get off of?
It was dropping.
It was less.
Because it kept dropping. But I'm saying they never established how much regular blood gave him.
I don't know. I think 6 hours, right?
No,
I thought
that was always the artificial.
So the timing was always the artificial.
It was always the artificial.
Then
I don't know.
They didn't give no explanation on that.
No.
And they don't. Then that makes sense. How much blood do you consume?
Yeah. Not explained.
I still don't know why animal blood can't work.
Well, I mean, that's just the character itself.
But why not though?
Well, it's blood.
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know.
Because it's not like a full transfusion. It's not like he's like checking a person before, like, oh, are we the same type? Or
I take it as
I think you could get a pig. And
they wanted to make
they
wanted to make a character similar to like vampire, but not exactly a vampire. Because it's like vampires have to consume human blood. It doesn't work for them to get blood from animals either.
But he's not a vampire.
But he's not a vampire.
I don't know. He's a dumb character.
And he got his powers from an animal that feeds off of other animals.
Right. Yeah. And that is his origin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like there's no other origin story told differently about him.
Yeah. I got my power from vampire bats.
Right.
I'm Batman.
So
and vampire bats feed on animals.
Went with Batman.
Yes.
If I was him, I would have went with Batman. I mean, like Spider-Man got bit by a spider and he's Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I think that still would have been copyright infringement.
You put a hyphen.
Batman.
He's Batman.
Okay. Are we done talking about the final fight?
No, we didn't even talk about it.
Okay. Well, all right.
All right. Okay. So why can't he control bats?
That was new.
Yeah, they mentioned it in the beginning of the movie
that they were like his brothers or some trash.
But I was like, but can bats control each other? I don't. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe he releases some.
That's like Spider-Man
controlling
spiders.
Ew, man.
Just be like, my brother.
Oh wait, there's a character on Naruto
creepy.
that can control bugs. Be like that.
That's creepy.
It is.
Maybe it's like some sort of sonar thing or something.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could do a song. Okay. All right, like Batman.
Yes. Like.
Oh, did we notice the blatant copyright infringement of Batman's music? Where he was in the chamber with all the bats. I was like, wait, is this Batman Begins?
I'm pretty sure there was a couple of notes that were different.
Oh, like iced tea, not iced tea, vanilla ice with.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so and then I was like, how come his friend can't control bats? They took the same serum.
His friend wasn't practicing that move, so he didn't know it.
Oh, okay. And then also, did he Hadouken some bats?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes. Because he literally was like,
what? So where was the bats doing? I don't understand. These are.
Yeah, he was just up there.
Like, I got a bat fireball, I guess. I don't know. That was. Okay. Dumb?
Yes.
It was dumb.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's you can't kill me. Like, dude, you just kill people, two people for no reason.
And you tried to kill me.
Yeah.
And my girl.
Yeah.
Also,
that scene was weird.
The doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, say his name.
The doctor. He died before Morpheus got there, right?
Yes, he dies before he get there.
I'm like, what kind of trash writing is this? That he's like, he stays alive in just enough time to die in front of Morpheus. That's
another inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
She cuts her finger, open up cat food. He barely can control himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He goes see the guy that took care of him and Milo. Blood is everywhere.
Yeah.
Not one time did he want to feed on him.
That's true.
Were they a little inconsistent? That is very true. But I just made something else I thought was a little inconsistent. Were they a little inconsistent about where this lab was located? So he goes to where the gangs were making the fake money. And he has the girl sneak back in, which, like, seriously, there's no cops around here, to grab stuff for him so he can create a new lab.
Why aren't they following her?
I don't know.
Right. So, but then I felt like in the last scene we see them together, they're back in the lab with all the bats. I know he didn't move the bat tank. So, did they move the bat tank to the gangster's lab, or did they end up back in his regular lab?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you got a point, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, but. That was just minor details. And I'm like...
But yeah, I was really thrown off about the whole thing. I'm like, she pricked her finger and he's covered that up. You know? But his father figure is like, blood is everywhere. and he's okay.
He's just like, no.
Which I don't understand. Okay, I get that you called Michael, but then you didn't also call 911.
True.
Also true.
That's true.
But I will say, for the sake of movies,
he dies anyways. But
I will say, for the sake of movies, people never call 911.
If you have the strength to dial something, maybe dial 911.
They always call the hero.
I mean,
all the time. They don't call 911.
Maybe make 2 phone calls. I feel like I might make 2 phone calls.
Yeah, but
if the hero's Superman,
for the sake of movies,
like,
right?
They always call the hero and not 911.
Bat-man. So
yeah, like, and did the doctor know about Morbius?
What doctor?
The one that died. Did he know Morbius
He figured it out.
Okay,
he figured it out when Milo showed up.
Because they were saying,
oh yeah,
it was on the news that they were blaming Morbius for the murders.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. When the nurse died, Nurse Elizabeth, that's what I'm calling her. There's that hallway, nobody in a New York City hospital. No one's in the hallway.
I noticed that always in movies when people die in a hospital, like they get killed in the stairwell or a hallway, there's always no one on that floor for whatever particular reason.
No one. But then all of a sudden there's like 30 people. Just where were you when she was getting her life?
And what's with the lights?
Also, because like there are dying children on that floor, right? So there's people.
There's
on that
people
floor.
on that floor.
It's at least 4.
Even in the middle of the night,
at least 4 people.
The hospitals are staffed.
Like the girl, like it could have been nighttime when she had her little near-death moment. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you need more than just one nurse.
Yeah.
And in the hospital, hallways are not dark like that. No. Patient rooms are. Yeah. But the main hallway,
it's not dark.
No, it's not dark. They don't turn off no lights.
No.
That's why they close your door.
Yeah, probably because there's people working.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just in this room examining X-rays, and it's just this dark hallway.
Yeah.
That only lights up every 5 feet from motion lights.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's motion light and a motion light turns on from way down there. I'm running from that point. Not who's there and the light keep getting closer to me. No. I am booking it.
Yeah.
And then I'm not booking it to turn on all the lights. I am out.
And then, like, there was no cameras? Like, I don't,
There's always cameras.
There's always cameras.
In a hospital. That's why you can't get away with nothing in a hospital.
No.
All right.
You have other things?
I got the post-credit scene next.
All right, let's talk about the post-credit scenes. Because that is my biggest rant in this entire...
Go for it.
Sony, me and you, Sony. I hate you so much. I hate you so much, Sony. All right, I'm gonna say, Sony, just don't. Okay, just don't. All right, like, okay, so your first post-credit scene, we got the rift from Spider-Man: No Way Home, an actual good movie, and Adrian Toomes comes into this universe from the rift. Why?
Yeah.
That is not how it worked. Everybody came into the Marvel universe.
And then kicked them out.
He knew Peter Parker.
No. But he left the Marvel universe.
No, but Doctor Strange got rid of everyone who didn't belong in that universe. Not the people who knew Peter Parker. Everyone who didn't belong in that universe went back home. Which means the Vulture stays where he is because he is in the right universe. You essentially put him in the wrong universe.
For no reason.
What I was trying to say is that the reason why he's supposed to have was originally out was because he knew Peter Parker.
But why did he leave?
Him leaving makes no sense at all.
That's what I'm saying. So him coming through the rift into the Sony universe of superhero dumb movies, super villain movies, because they only have Spider-Man, which they can't use. So I say they have more than Spider-Man. They should maybe use those people. But no, because Sony sucks. He shouldn't be moving over to the Sony universe.
Nope.
The way it worked in No Way Home was everybody was converging on Tom Holland.
Yes.
Now, and like the whole knowing if he was Spider-Man or not,
but that's a separate thing though. Yeah. Like whether or not people knew who, that's a separate thing. Because if nothing else, Vulture forgets who Peter Parker is.
I forgot about that point.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that happens. The people that disappeared were the people that didn't belong.
Right.
Everyone else
shouldn't remember.
Yeah, everyone else forgot who Spider-Man is. That's it. Peter Parker does not exist for them.
But okay, that's the other crazy.
And then also, he's not a scientist, and he immediately is just like he's like immediately recognizes he's in another universe.
Exactly. That's not only does
because he said he didn't recognize the cell that he was in.
Okay, you could have thought you
got
transported
moved,
to
whatever.
Another...
You're super cool about getting teleported to another place. But not only that, like, why is he so super cool about being in a different universe? Why did he assume that Spider-Man had anything to do with it? What about his family? That was his whole motivation from the get-go. So now you're just going to become the Vulture?
Else.
And then how did you get this new
your
Vulture
and
costume?
Your wife is just going... Oh, I was going to get on that. That was the second post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. But the first one is... Sony, again, all this feels so super forced. If I got Amazing Spider-Man 2 vibes from this because they're always trying to build their universe, but it's never good. And my thing is, they wanted this to be the, oh my God moment that you get from some Marvel stingers. Like at the end of the crappy movie Eternals, you heard Mahershala Ali's voice, and people are like, "Oh, wait, that's the person that's playing Blade and whatever," and people are excited about it, right? Mm-hmm. No.
Oh yeah, this
and
definitely
I'm not this kind of person, but I wanted to actively boo because they suck. This is not how you do it. It's unearned, and then it doesn't make sense in the context of everything else. Mm-hmm. It's just because you wanted him in there. And you have him credited in the movie like he's in there, like a full-on character.
Yeah. Just like the No Way Home end credit. It's
No Way Home. Now, that was kind of in the fact that a piece of Venom got left over, but I can gloss over it. With that, I'm like, okay, they needed Venom to be in, and I guess this is kind of a way. It slightly doesn't make sense, but you can get through it, right? But going the opposite direction for Adrian Toomes makes no sense at all. There's no way you can, because you can
He's not in that universe.
You can say once the Venom thing split off, it was a separate entity, so technically it's not from the other universe. Yeah. You know, like, okay, all right, okay, fine, whatever. You wanted Venom in Marvel, now we have him. Mm-hmm. What's the explanation for Adrian Toomes being in
it makes no sense.
None.
Just the whole thing is dumb. Okay, it just...
Now, second one that Devon already mentioned a little bit. He meets up with Morbius. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the suit that Devon mentioned before. How does he have a Vulture suit?
Right.
His Vulture suit was made from Chitauri tech.
Right.
Yep. Chitauri, I mean, they might exist, but they never came to Earth in Sony Universe.
Right, because the Avengers don't exist.
Yeah.
Right. So why would they?
Right.
They don't view Earth as a threat yet.
Because there's nothing there but a black goo man.
Right. So where did he get these parts from to make his suit? Why did he make the suit? And why did he assume Spider-Man had anything to do with it? Does Spider-Man exist in this universe? Spider-Man does not exist in this universe.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
well, he said, I don't understand why I'm in this universe, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with
Why
Spider-Man.
would he mention that if nobody knows who Spider-Man is?
Right. And why would you just assume, oh, I got teleported somewhere, it must be Spider-Man, because that's Spider-Man's powers.
And you came from the Marvel Universe where there are a plethora of people that could do things.
Right.
And your first thought, it's Spider-Man, definitely.
And then, so now you're in this universe by yourself, no family, no friends or nothing, and then you make a Vulture suit to do what?
Also, how did he make the suit? Because he didn't make the Vulture suit in the original movies.
He did not.
The Tinkerer made all his tech.
Yeah.
So one, you don't have the materials, and you don't know how to make it because the Vulture's not an engineer.
Yeah, you're just a regular guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, 0 cents. That make no sense. Now let's talk about him talking to the to Morbius.
Why?
Right. I've heard about you. Okay. What about Adrian Toomes makes him go, we should team up with Morbius?
Yeah. Well, not even just that. Why would Morbius meet with him?
Yeah.
Like, you are a random guy.
Yes.
Why would he go to that and then be like, I'm listening? Why are you listening?
That doesn't make sense.
Yes.
I was going to go down that route too. Why would Morbius team up with him? Morbius is not a villain.
No, he is not. And he has no reason to.
Yeah.
Why would he be like, okay, I go help you find this Spider-Man guy? Why?
The villainous part about Morbius is that he needs to kill people to survive.
Right.
He's not a malicious villain where he's like, I'm evil. Mm-hmm. Right? His thing is kind of a moral dilemma because he needs to survive, but he needs to kill people to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's his dilemma. There's no I'm going to steal stuff, which is Vulture's deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of that. No, I'm going to take over the world, blah, blah, blah. There is no reason for these two people to become a team.
No. It makes
none whatsoever.
0 sense. And then how is Morbius surviving?
People.
I'm like, so he went on.
He's have to be still killing people.
Okay.
Or maybe Kyle's working. He was wrong. And his whole movie was pointless.
Yeah. So then I'm like, they also going to convince Venom to join them too?
I guess, but then...
And Venom just going to be like, okay, let me team up with this guy that randomly kills innocent people.
But what are they going to do once you create this team?
I don't know.
If you get...
And this is not the Sinister Six.
They're always talking about it. No, this isn't.
Because this Sinister Six is going to suck.
Sony's always talking about a Sinister Six.
I think that's what they're building up to.
That's what they're building up to.
Here's a question, Sony. What's your Sinister Six going to do without a hero? What if there's no Spider-Man? What is the Sinister Six going to do?
But there is a Spider-Man. Like, they got Spider-Man back, right? So they can do whatever the heck they want now.
He's still in the Marvel Universe, though.
Is he? I don't think he is.
Did he get sent over too? Because the end credit scene only showed Adrian Toomes.
Sony now has the rights, right?
Yeah, Sony has the rights to
so
Spider-Man
they can bring him in whenever they want.
Because if you want to see another $2 billion movie, I suggest you don't.
Is Spider-Man can be in movies. He's no longer can have a standalone movie.
I'm fine with that.
So that's fine.
We got a good trilogy.
But
so Sony can use him.
Can use him.
Okay. Where from though? Because you
true.
So here's the thing: you started this dumb universe. You started this dumb universe without a Spider-Man. We have a Venom without Spider-Man powers because it's dumb. Who doesn't hate Peter Parker and Spider-Man, which is Venom's MO. Because you don't have a Spider-Man. We wasted Carnage. Now we have Adrian Toomes, which I guess hates Spider-Man, but there's no Spider-Man.
I don't know why Sony didn't focus on the other characters.
Miles Morales. You have Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Silk. There's so many other Spider-Man characters.
I was going to mention Black Cat.
Yeah, Black Cat.
I'm not surprised
but they were going to do
a
Silver
movie.
Sable and Black Cat for some reason. And then they got canceled.
Why do we need Silver Sable and Black Cat?
Could have just done Black Cat.
Yes.
Because one of them are going to be the antagonist.
I don't know enough about Silver Sable.
I don't either. It could have just been Black Cat.
It could have just been Black Cat.
Yeah, but I think they were the plan was to use the other one as an antagonist.
Aren't there other heroes too in the Spider-Man thing they could have used?
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about doing a Kraven the Hunter.
Oh yeah, I was
Please
talking
not,
to my
'cause
wife
they gonna
about that.
it. I need MCU to do it, but
I
if
like
Sony
Kraven.
do it,
They are.
he's gonna suck.
They're doing it. It's already cast.
Oh, Sony is doing it?
Yeah, Quicksilver is Kraven. What's his name?
The one that died?
Yeah.
No.
I can see that.
No,
I can see him being that, but the movie's gonna suck because
Is he gonna bulk up?
It's gonna be trash.
like, yeah, they're gonna have him add muscles.
He gonna add a lot of muscle.
Well, actors
You
do
say
it all
that,
the
but
time.
it happens all the time. It's not surprising.
I
anymore.
don't think that's a good choice.
But
It's
anyhow,
not a good choice.
Craven, I love the character of Craven. Don't do a movie because what's Craven going to hunt? Again,
Morbius.
you don't have a hero. Oh, he's going to hunt Morbius. Okay.
Yeah. And then they're gonna team up.
And you have to keep making these villains.
Then they have 4 out of 6 for the Sinister Six. This Sinister Six team gonna
Against
suck.
who? Against who? Is the question.
That's when they gonna introduce Spider-Man in the Sinister Six movie. And they're gonna randomly hate this Spider-Man guy that no one has no connection to whatsoever. Which is not gonna understand with no explanation on why they hate this guy.
Sony needs to just stop. Stick to making video games and TVs because that's what you're good at.
Hey man, you can make Into the Spider-Verse. Maybe stick to an animated thing.
Yeah.
You got the rights. Do an animated thing. Just animated universe. Okay.
Just like DC. Great animated universe.
And guess but Sony is making money in theater. Like DC's usually like, you get on a streaming or video or whatever. They made money in theaters. Sony, this is where your money at. You made it. The Into the Spider-Verse was great. You can make a whole universe off of it, man.
Yeah, you can.
Just do that.
Yep.
Do that.
And
Stop
keep it
with
as a
these.
cartoon, and then people will still go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do the anime. Yeah, the Into the Spider-Verse made money.
Yeah.
And then the second one's going to make money too.
Yeah. And I was very leery about it because it was by Sony. But when I watched it, I was like, this is really good.
Because we watched it after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Stop with the live action. Just stop. None of it's good. Venom and
I felt like Morbius was already bad as it was. The 2 end credits made it worse.
So angry at those end credits.
Made it worse.
Both Venom movies were okay. And
yes, they were just okay.
And we were happy because they didn't make a absolute trash Venom movie. But like you can see where they're going, and they haven't learned their lessons since they started making the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and since they started interfering with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Because once they started, we need Venom in Spider-Man 3, and then we got Spider-Man 3, which was hot trash.
It was. Spider-Man 3 needed to only focus on 1.
Sam Raimi was like, I was only doing Sandman. It was going to be Sandman. But
it would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
Yes.
But Sony had to have Venom in there. Obviously, since they made 2 Venom movies. Because they're just thirsty to have Venom. It's a popular character, I get it, but you got to do it right.
But then Spider-Man 3 should have been just Venom. Well, it should have been just the Venom movie.
Sam Raimi didn't want to do Venom, and if you make a director do something he doesn't want to do, he's not going to produce a good movie.
Right. It comes out exactly as they take it. It's a throw in, so we're going to throw this in here.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's like writing something and then someone come in and like, hey, this character has to be in your story. You're like, this character has nothing to do with my story. It's like, I don't care. Put it in there anyway. Well, that character that you put in is exactly how it was going to come across. It's like, wow, this was put in.
Yeah. It feels thrown in. And that's why these post-credit scenes feel like a stretch.
It's a huge stretch. So I'm like, so Sony using like the multiverse as a reason.
Hey, you know what? I just thought that post-credit scene was a copy of the post-credit scene of The Incredible Hulk with Tony Stark meeting with General Ross going, we're putting a team together. It was. They copied it. They copied the post-credit scene.
So they putting the team together to fight against something that they don't.
There's no threat. There's no threat out here.
Because at least with General Ross,
what's going to be the overarching villain for the Sony whatever?
I don't know. I mean,
Spider-Man.
No,
that doesn't exist.
Stop saying that. Because right now, I mean, there are only 3 movies in, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Carnage?
until they threw in Venom. I mean, Vulture. It was only 2. Venom and Morbius. Now it's Vulture.
No, it's 3 movies. You had 2 Venom movies.
Yeah, 2
Oh yeah. 3 movies in. Yes.
So they got Carnage. They can fight. Is he dead or something?
No, he's
dead.
What do you mean he's dead?
They wasted Carnage. He's dead.
Yeah. They killed him in 2.
He's gone. They killed Cletus Cassidy, and then did they kill the symbiote? I think they did.
Yeah, they did. Because they burned it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Are we gonna rank Morbius?
Yep.
Pure torture.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. For everybody that wants to know, pure torture is a 2 out of 5 or a 4 to 5 out of 10. I did say this. I still think their 19% on Rotten Tomatoes is overkill. 19% to me means this is the worst movie I've ever seen in life, and that it's reminiscence. That's what that is. Okay.
Wow. I kind of want to say Reminiscence was better.
No.
I don't know.
If I had to watch anything and you put Reminiscence and Morbius in front of me, I'm gonna watch Morbius.
I would kind of watch Reminiscence. I'm not gonna.
I mean, they're both boring and dumb in their own ways.
Yeah.
And I saw an online poll. Nah, this was just like through social media. The average came out to be 4.5 out of 10 for Morbius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. IMDb got it at like 4.9.
Yeah. That's a little high, but okay.
Yeah. It's not a good movie. Don't go see it.
I'm pretty sure as time go on, it's going to go slightly lower. Not too much.
It's
lower.
at 17% on Rotten Tomatoes now.
Yeah, it is.
So it's dropping. You started at 19 and it's getting lower.
It's 19 when I saw it. When I realized it was coming out the next day.
Yeah. So yeah, don't go see Morbius. Trust us. Don't. Just don't. Don't even watch it on video on demand when it comes out. If it comes on TV, turn your TV off. All right, don't watch it. It's not a movie. With that being said, did you watch the new Batman movie? Let us know.
Bat-Man.
Yeah, Bat-Man. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it and how did you live through the experience. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you next time. Peace out.